You see it everywhere, my friends. Brilliant minds, brimming with incredible potential. People who undeniably know better, but somehow don't do better. They harbor dazzling ideas, monumental dreams, and thoughtful, meticulously crafted plans. Yet, when it comes to consistent follow-through, there's often very little. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How can someone dedicate years to learning, contemplating, and preparing, and still never truly launch? Still never follow through? Still never step into the arena and do what their inner wisdom already guides them to do? I'll tell you what I've discovered. A profound truth that illuminates this perplexing pattern. There's a subtle, often quiet, yet incredibly powerful gap that exists between knowing and doing. And tragically, my friends, that gap is where most dreams, most aspirations, and most incredible potentials quietly fade away. It doesn't happen with a dramatic crash or a sudden catastrophic failure. No, the truth is, most dreams die silently. They evaporate in that space between I should and I did. They vanish in the pause, the silent hesitation between heartfelt intention and decisive action. And if you're not acutely aware, if you don't intentionally choose to bridge it, that space can become your entire life. A life filled with magnificent intentions and countless missed opportunities. A life whispered with, I could have, I almost, I was planning to. That's not the life you envision for yourself, is it? It's certainly not the life anyone truly yearns for. But it's the life many find themselves living, not because they lacked the intelligence or the roadmap, but because they never consistently did what they inherently knew to do. It's a truly painful realization to look back and understand that it wasn't a lack of information, nor a shortage of opportunities, nor even bad luck that held you captive. It was the subtle paralysis of hesitation, the comfort of delay, the insidious whisper of excuses. It was that quiet, almost imperceptible decision to remain in motionless comfort rather than brave the exhilarating discomfort of action. Now, I'm certainly not saying knowledge is unimportant. Of course, it's vital. Knowledge is the seed, the incredible blueprint for what's possible. But it is never the harvest. It is never the fruit. To truly reap the rewards, to see the results you desire, you absolutely must act. You must move. You must do. This journey we're on together isn't about more motivation, because motivation is fleeting. It's not about acquiring even more knowledge, for you already hold a treasure trove. It's not about passively waiting for the perfect time or hoping for the right mood to strike. No, this is about decisively, courageously, and permanently closing that gap, the one that separates knowing from doing, because that gap is the profound difference between who you are right now and the extraordinary person you are destined to become. And every single day you allow that gap to remain unaddressed, the vibrant life you truly yearn for slips just a little further away. This very moment, right now, is your powerful opportunity to close that gap deliberately, consciously, and irreversibly. It's time to stop rehearsing and start building, to halt the endless preparation and begin the exhilarating practice, to cease waiting and truly start doing. Because once you begin doing, even imperfectly, even inconsistently at first, you step out of the realm of abstract theory and into the tangible, transformative process of creation. And my friends, that's where the real, undeniable progress truly begins. Knowledge in this digital age is everywhere. It's literally in your pocket, on your bookshelf, in every conversation you've ever had. There's no shortage of books, courses, audio programs, or expert advice. And yet, despite this overwhelming abundance of knowledge, very few people actually experience profound, lasting change. Very few truly take what they know and consistently put it into practice long enough to witness the incredible results it can generate. You could walk into any bookstore right now and find 100 books on building wealth, on optimizing health, on nurturing relationships, on mastering time management. The problem, my friends, isn't a lack of information. That hasn't been the core challenge for a very long time. The deeper issue is that knowing has subtly, insidiously become a substitute for doing. People often feel a temporary surge of gratification because they've read a chapter, watched an inspiring video, or listened to an empowering talk. For a fleeting moment, they experience the emotional reward that should rightfully come from action without actually taking any. It's like reading a detailed guide on push-ups and feeling like you've completed a full workout. You haven't, of course. But your brain received just enough stimulation to create that illusion of effort. You see, knowledge without action is profoundly deceptive. It artfully creates the illusion of progress, a comforting sense that you are growing, evolving, but you're not. You're merely collecting insight. And while insight is powerful, insight alone doesn't sculpt your physique. Insight doesn't build a thriving business. Insight doesn't accumulate savings. And insight certainly doesn't transform deep-seated habits. Only consistent, dedicated action achieves that. Most people don't need another breakthrough idea. They already possess the right ideas, the perfect insights. What they truly need is to act on them, to apply them, to repeat them, to keep doing them long enough to witness the extraordinary results unfold. And that, my friends, is where so many fall short, not in understanding, but in the courageous act of execution. Years ago, I encountered a man who had devoured over 400 books on business strategy. He could quote authors verbatim, recite intricate strategies, and break down complex models with astounding clarity. His notebooks were filled to the brim with meticulous plans, detailed graphs, and precise timelines. But when I gently inquired what he had actually built, he looked down, a shadow of regret crossing his face. Nothing, he confessed. He hadn't built anything tangible. Why? Because knowledge, in isolation, doesn't build. Action builds. And for all his diligent learning, he had never truly moved. He had never dared to cross that critical gap. You see, the world doesn't credit you for what you simply know. The world generously rewards you for what you do, for what you deliver, for what you courageously follow through on. That's why someone with less theoretical knowledge but far more consistent discipline will invariably outperform the person with vast knowledge but no sustained action. The most perilous place to find yourself is believing you're making progress when, in reality, you're merely circling the runway. You keep reading, you keep planning, you keep preparing, but you never truly take off. You never get airborne. Why? Because motion is not progress. Learning is not growth. Thinking is not building. Only decisive action truly crosses that line. If all it took was knowing, every single one of us would be rich, fit, and profoundly fulfilled. But that, my friends, is simply not how the universe works. Knowing is often the easy, comfortable part. Doing, however, is where the real, transformative work truly begins. That's where the inevitable resistance surfaces. That's where excuses start to cunningly creep in. And that's where you discover, deep within yourself, if you are genuinely serious or merely interested. So, I invite you to ask yourself, with profound honesty, what do you already know needs to be done that you still haven't done? What habit have you diligently studied, passionately discussed, meticulously written down, but not yet consistently practiced? What incredible opportunity have you thoroughly researched, but not yet boldly acted on? That is the gap. That is the crucial difference between staying exactly where you are and courageously stepping into the magnificent future that awaits you. Do not, under any circumstances, confuse learning with living. Do not confuse studying with doing. At some point, you must make the powerful decision to stop merely consuming and start powerfully executing. At some point, you must halt the endless gathering of information and start boldly applying it. That, my friends, is the precise moment when everything, truly everything begins to change. So, the question remains, if people already know what to do, why don't they do it? And the answer, more often than not, isn't a lack of motivation. It's fear. It's hesitation. It's the deceptive comfort of staying exactly where it feels safe. Because as long as you're still planning, you can't fail. As long as you're perpetually getting ready, you don't have to confront the possibility that it might not work out exactly as you'd hoped. You see, knowing feels safe. Knowing keeps you protected within the realm of theory. You can exist in that theoretical space forever, never risking embarrassment, never risking the sting of failure, never risking the uncomfortable truth that your very best effort might still not have been enough. That, my friends, is why people remain stuck. Not because they don't yearn for progress, but because they're deeply, profoundly afraid of what doing might reveal about themselves, about their capabilities, about their dreams. There's a peculiar kind of security in endless preparation. You can stay incredibly busy. You can remain perpetually occupied. You can even appear remarkably productive to the outside world. And from an external perspective, it might even seem like you're making undeniable progress. But deep down, in the quiet chambers of your heart, you know you're merely circling. You're skillfully avoiding the one thing that will genuinely move the needle: courageous execution. Perfectionism is another insidious trap that holds countless individuals captive. People mistakenly believe that if they cannot execute something flawlessly, they shouldn't attempt it at all. They expend so much precious time tirelessly trying to decipher the best method, the perfect plan, the right moment, that they tragically miss the abundant opportunity to make genuine progress with the resources and knowledge they already possess. And the beautiful irony, my friends, is this: the only way to become truly exceptional at anything is to be willing to do it badly, awkwardly, imperfectly at first. You will never perfect something you refuse to practice. But the perfectionists wait. They keep sharpening the pencil until there's no lead left, and still, the paper remains blank. Because perfection isn't the goal. Consistent movement is. And until you're willing to embrace imperfection, you will struggle with consistency. And if you're not consistent, true, lasting success will remain elusive. Then there's the challenge of overwhelm. People often declare they don't know where to start, and consequently, they don't start at all. They gaze upon the entire daunting mountain instead of simply focusing on the very next step. They fixate on the monumental task of writing an entire book instead of just crafting the first compelling page. They worry about shedding 50 pounds instead of simply taking a walk around the block. But remember this powerful truth: every colossal change, every monumental achievement is meticulously built from a series of small, consistent actions. And if you steadfastly focus on that immediate, manageable next small action, you can bypass the paralyzing grip of overwhelm completely. Sometimes, the silent saboteur is overconsumption. People become addicted to input. More advice, more videos, more techniques. But there's a critical limit, a saturation point. If all you do is passively take in, eventually you become so bloated with information that you can't move, you can't act. You transform into a collector of knowledge instead of a dynamic practitioner. And no matter how much you know, none of it truly matters until you courageously use it. Procrastination, too, is a powerful reason why people remain stuck. They convince themselves they're merely putting it off until later. But the deeper truth is, they're instinctively avoiding the discomfort that inevitably accompanies starting something new. Because starting means confronting doubt, navigating awkwardness, and pushing through resistance. So, they delay, not because they're inherently lazy, but because they're cleverly sidestepping that initial, uncomfortable moment of friction. But here's the powerful secret, my friends. If you can just start, just take that courageous first step, everything that follows becomes undeniably easier. And for some, it's not the paralyzing grip of fear or the elusive pursuit of perfectionism. or even the subtle art of procrastination. For them, it's simply comfort. They've grown incredibly comfortable within their current routine, even if that routine isn't producing the fulfilling results they deeply desire. Change, by its very nature, demands disruption. It requires a surge of energy. It calls for deliberate effort. And it's undeniably easier to remain where things are familiar, predictable, even if they're profoundly unfulfilling. But you, my friend, must ask yourself, is this ephemeral comfort truly worth your magnificent future? Is the ease of today truly worth the profound regret of tomorrow? Because every single day you remain stuck in the realm of knowing, you are subtly giving up ground. You are inadvertently trading the exhilarating momentum of movement for the stagnant illusion of maintenance. And let me tell you, maintenance, while necessary, never, ever creates progress. You were not built, my friend, to rehearse forever. You were not designed to sit perpetually on the edge of your boundless potential, planning and preparing, while your precious opportunities gently expire. You were powerfully built to move, to try, to apply, to do. And everything you truly desire, growth, success, profound impact, it all lives, it all blossoms on the other side of doing. So now, the illusion must end. Knowing is simply not enough. You know this truth deep in your bones. You've seen it. You've felt it. And now you understand precisely why people often remain stuck. Because staying stuck in that theoretical space feels safer than boldly stepping into the thrilling unknown. But let me be crystal clear. Safety is not success. Safety is not progress. Safety is not true freedom. If you genuinely want change, if you yearn for a life of purpose and impact, you've got to break that pattern. You've got to stop settling for the comforting security of knowing and start courageously building the audacious habit of doing. That, and only that, is the singular way forward. That is the only way that gap gets decisively closed. Most people are waiting, patiently waiting, to feel ready before they even begin. Waiting to feel confident, waiting to feel motivated. But here's the profound truth I've discovered, a key that unlocks incredible potential. Those powerful feelings don't lead the process. They don't show up first, they show up later. They are the magnificent consequence of action, not its prerequisite. You don't act because you're motivated. You get motivated because you act. You don't move because you're confident. You build confidence by moving. The very feelings everyone waits for are powerfully produced by doing, not the other way around. And the individuals who grasp this fundamental truth, they stop waiting. They stop hesitating. They start doing. Discipline, my friends, is the mighty bridge that spans that gap. Discipline is the unwavering commitment to doing what needs to be done, even and especially when you absolutely don't feel like it. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't patiently wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't negotiate with your moods or your fears. Discipline simply shows up consistently and does the necessary work. You know what truly separates amateurs from professionals? It's not raw talent. It's not an abundance of resources. It's not even superior intelligence. It is unequivocally discipline. Amateurs act only when they feel like it. Professionals act because it is time to act. They don't permit transient feelings to dictate their schedule. They don't allow momentary moods to determine their movement. They move no matter what. You don't need to be extraordinary to start doing. You just need to be profoundly committed. You need to make a powerful decision that showing up consistently matters infinitely more than feeling good. You need to decide that consistent action is more crucial than fleeting comfort. You need to decide, unequivocally, that the magnificent life you yearn for is worth more than any excuse you've ever used to avoid it. Doing, my friends, does not require perfection. That's another cunning trap designed to keep you from starting. People falsely believe they can't begin until they know how to execute flawlessly. But here's the liberating truth. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is flawless in its beginning stages. Doing is inherently messy. Doing is often clumsy. Doing is frequently uncomfortable. But it is, without exception, absolutely necessary. The only pathway to becoming truly adept at something is to first be willing to be a beginner at it, to be bad at it, to stumble through it. Discipline whispers, I'll do it anyway. I'll show up tired. I'll show up uncertain. I'll show up nervous, but I will show up. And if you consistently keep showing up day after day, you will build something incredibly powerful within yourself. You will forge resilience. You will generate unstoppable momentum. You will sculpt a new, empowering identity. You'll stop thinking of yourself as someone who tries, and you'll start becoming someone who consistently follows through. And that identity, my friends, changes everything. When doing transforms into an intrinsic part of who you are, you no longer have to force it. You no longer have to engage in internal debates with yourself every single day. You simply do. Like brushing your teeth, like tying your shoes, like showing up to work. It becomes an automatic, ingrained part of your being. And that, my friends, is the ultimate goal. Not to perpetually force action, but to practice it with such dedication and consistency that it becomes an inseparable part of you. Most individuals are trying to feel their way into action, but the authentic path, the most empowering route, is acting your way into feeling. Show up first. Confidence will follow. Do it even when you're tired. Energy will come later. Act when you're afraid. Courage will emerge. The very emotions you are so desperately seeking, my friends, live on the other side of movement. So, start small. Take one action. Tackle one task. Cultivate one powerful habit. Don't wait for the illusion of ready. Just begin. Keep your actions simple. Keep your promises to yourself sacred. And every single time you follow through, you powerfully prove to yourself and to the universe that you are serious, that you are building something remarkable, that you are actively becoming the kind of person who does. And that, my friends, is what changes everything. Not more talent, not more knowledge, not a perfect, infallible plan. What truly changes everything is consistent, relentless action, repeated disciplines, quiet, unglamorous follow-through, not just once in a while, but daily. That is precisely how the gap gets closed. That is how knowing transforms into doing. That is how dreams stop dying and powerfully start becoming vibrant realities. People are perpetually waiting for the right time, waiting for the new year, waiting for Monday, waiting for the pressure to miraculously ease up, waiting for motivation to strike like lightning, waiting until it feels just right. And while they wait, precious time passes. Incredible opportunities fade. Cherished dreams gather dust. And life, my friends, keeps moving relentlessly forward. You've probably heard people say, it's just not a good time right now. But truly, think about it. When is it ever a truly good time to profoundly change your life? When does the calendar magically clear, the stress miraculously vanish, and the heavens open up to declare, now's the absolutely perfect moment? It doesn't happen because perfect conditions simply do not exist in the real world. The right time is not a date on a calendar. It is a decisive, unwavering decision within your heart. That, my friends, is the only way anything truly important ever begins. Not because every single thing perfectly aligned, but because someone, somewhere, made the courageous decision to stop waiting and start moving. They declared, ready or not, I'm going. And that pivotal moment, that powerful decision, is what makes all the difference. People often cunningly disguise fear as meticulous planning. They label it timing. They call it wisdom. But underneath it all, my friends, it's often just raw hesitation. It's that part of you that craves progress without discomfort, growth without effort, and results without any risk. But you and I both know, deep down, it simply doesn't work like that. If you're not willing to begin when it's messy, when it's uncertain, and when it's profoundly inconvenient, then you'll likely never truly start at all. Action doesn't magically begin when you feel ready. It powerfully begins when you are committed. Committed to the magnificent outcome. Committed to the transformative process. Committed to doing it now, not later. Because later has an uncanny way of morphing into never. And the longer you wait, the harder it inevitably gets. You don't need perfect conditions, my friend. You need a decision. You need a single, courageous step. You need to make the unwavering choice that you are starting today. You might not know everything. You might not feel 100% ready, but you are absolutely not going to sit in the same spot for another year, idly hoping for perfection. That is how you decisively cross the gap. That is how genuine progress truly begins. You will never feel 100% ready. That's not how the human mind is wired, my friend. It's wired for safety, for preservation. It will perpetually find a reason to wait. It will always point to some minute detail that isn't quite perfectly in place yet. But your magnificent future is not patiently waiting for your comfort. It is waiting expectantly for your courage. It is waiting for you to step forward, ready or not. I've witnessed people wait their entire lives for that elusive right moment. And I've seen countless others bravely start before they felt entirely ready. And in doing so, they changed everything. Not because they had it all figured out beforehand, but because they courageously figured it out as they went. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be in motion. Don't wait for the fear to miraculously disappear. It won't. Do it afraid. Don't wait for the plan to be flawlessly perfect. It won't be. Do it uncertain. Don't wait for conditions to be absolutely ideal. They rarely are. Do it anyway. Because the very act of doing creates profound clarity. It builds invaluable experience. It generates tangible results. And all those things you've been patiently waiting for, they show up after you begin, not before. Every single day you wait, you inadvertently strengthen the habit of hesitation. You teach your mind that delay is acceptable, that comfort is somehow more important than growth. But every single time you act, especially when it's inconvenient, you build a completely different pattern within yourself. A powerful pattern of movement, a pattern of undeniable progress, a pattern of unstoppable success. So forget about waiting for the elusive right conditions. Start under the wrong ones. Start when it's messy. Start when you're unsure. Start when it's uncomfortable. Because that, my friends, is the only way anything truly magnificent ever gets built. And the truth is, most of the incredible things you admire, thriving businesses, impactful careers, strong, resilient relationships, they were all started by brave individuals who began under far less than perfect conditions. The gap between knowing and doing doesn't magically close with more time. It closes with decisive action. It closes with the courageous willingness to begin before everything is perfectly aligned. And once you take that bold step, the momentum begins to build. The clarity emerges. The results inevitably follow. Not because it was the right time, but because you decided not to wait any longer. Everybody, it seems, is searching for a shortcut. Everyone's looking for the hack, the secret, the one magical move that will fast-track everything. But here's the true shortcut, my friends. The only shortcut that consistently delivers. It's doing daily. It's not a trick. It's not hidden. It's not complicated. It's simply unwavering consistency. Small, simple actions powerfully repeated every single day. That's it. You can attempt to skip steps. You can delay. You can pause and then start over and then pause again. But every single time you do, it costs you. Every restart resets your hard-earned momentum. Every pause weakens the budding habit. Every delay pushes the desired result further and further out of reach. And the person who just keeps going, quietly, steadily, persistently, they will always pull ahead. Not because they're inherently faster, not because they're smarter, but simply because they didn't stop. Success, my friends, doesn't reward the most intense. It powerfully rewards the most consistent. You don't need massive, overwhelming days. You don't need to try and do everything at once. You just need to do something every single day. That is how genuine progress builds. That is how discipline gets stronger, like a finely honed muscle. That is how the gap between knowing and doing finally, gloriously disappears. Most people, tragically, burn out because they try to do far too much, far too soon. They get intensely excited, go all in for a few days, and then, inevitably, they quit. But the ones who win, the ones who truly achieve, they pace themselves. They keep it small. They keep it simple. They keep it daily. They don't need external hype. They don't need a cheering crowd. They just build, quietly and consistently, one powerful day at a time. I've witnessed it over and over again. Someone reads an inspiring book, attends a life-changing seminar, gets incredibly fired up, and declares, "That's it. I'm changing everything." They overhaul their entire schedule, their diet, their finances, all in one exhilarating week. And by week 2, it's all gone. Why? Because intensity, while thrilling, is ultimately exhausting and unsustainable. But discipline, my friends, discipline is sustainable. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't make a scene, but it shows up day after unwavering day, whether it feels good or not, whether conditions are perfect or not, whether anyone is watching or not. Discipline doesn't care about fleeting excitement. It cares about solid decision. It cares about unwavering follow-through. It cares about doing the thing, even when you're tired, bored, or distracted. You don't need dramatic, jaw-dropping progress every single day. That's not the true goal. The goal is simply to not go backwards. The goal is to keep moving forward, to show up, to do the essential work. Some days will feel incredible. Some days will feel like an absolute grind. That's perfectly normal. But if you keep doing, you keep growing, you keep building, and eventually, undeniably, you arrive at your destination. It's just like compound interest in finance. You don't see the massive payoff immediately, but over time, the exponential growth becomes undeniable, spectacular. Day 1 doesn't look like much. Day 10 still feels relatively small. But day 100, day 300, that, my friends, is when the profound results truly begin to show up. That's when people start asking you, how did you do it? And the answer is never glamorous. It's always the same, humble truth. I just kept going. I just kept doing. Doing daily is about cultivating a powerful rhythm. It's about establishing a consistent routine. It's about building an unshakable structure that naturally supports your magnificent goals. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to debate it with yourself. You simply do it because it's become an integral part of who you are now. You don't wait to feel like it. You don't ask yourself every morning if you want to. You've already made the powerful decision, and now you simply follow through with unwavering commitment. And once you build that potent rhythm, once the doing becomes second nature, automatic, you've already won a monumental victory. Because now, the gap is gone. You are no longer stuck in the realm of merely knowing. You're not circling, planning, or hesitating. You are actively living. You are powerfully building. You are joyfully becoming. Doing daily isn't flashy. It's not immediately impressive to others. But over time, it becomes absolutely unstoppable. It becomes the profound reason you triumphantly cross the finish line while others are still just getting ready to start. It becomes the undeniable reason your life begins to look dramatically different. Not all at once, but one consistent, powerful day at a time. You want the real shortcut, the true secret to lasting success? This is it, my friends. Show up, do the work, and then do it again tomorrow. That is how you win. That is how you build the extraordinary life you genuinely want. Not by knowing more, not by waiting longer, but by doing daily, no matter what. You know what you need to do. You've known it for a while now. That's not the core problem. The problem, my friends, is the insidious delay. It's the hesitation. It's the waiting. It's the false comfort and deceptive security of knowing without doing. That is precisely where most dreams fall apart. Not from a lack of desire, not from a lack of knowledge, but from a profound lack of courageous execution. It's so easy to get stuck in that space. You cleverly tell yourself you're making progress because you're learning. You convince yourself you're improving because you're diligently planning. But at some pivotal point, you've got to look yourself squarely in the mirror and ask, am I actually doing it? Not just talking about it, not just reading about it, not just thinking about it, but doing it. Because that gap, that quiet yet incredibly powerful space between knowing and doing, that's where destiny happens. Or doesn't. That's the turning point. That's where lives courageously change or tragically stay the same. And you, my friend, always get to decide. You always hold that power. So make the powerful decision now. Close the gap. Stop waiting. Stop merely hoping. Stop preparing forever. Start doing. Start moving. Start building. Start practicing. Do it without the perfect, flawless plan. Do it without the ideal conditions. Do it without waiting to feel ready. Just begin. The difference between knowing and doing is everything. It's the difference between almost and actually, between incredible potential and tangible progress, between the life you perpetually talk about and the magnificent life you truly live. So take the very next step today. Not tomorrow, not later, today. Even if it's small, even if it feels uncertain, even if it's uncomfortable, take it. Because once you start doing, everything, truly everything changes.